Now let's look at what the stories on the news portal, myjoyonline.com. Before we do that, though, a lot of you have been sending a lot more of your messages. You said, good morning, Mama V and Roland. Mama V is a bit indisposed today, and so I'm here, your lone ranger for the morning. And he says, please tell JM to give us a light to watch AM News. Doomso has visited us. I can see the screen. I can't even see the screen even. Well, that's from Muniro, who is giving us this very message from the northern region town of Chireponi. And we have good morning, car power badge. You're welcome to Ghana. And this one is from Afelete Avula from Akuse. He says, you're welcome to Ghana. Come to resolve power crisis, which those who can't see development be put to shame. A little more of the English would have been better. If, okay. Our lives are in danger in Bunkrugu. Guns shooting all over in the night. Oh, okay, you mean some people are shooting guns over the period. That's the night period. I guess the police need to make sure they get there and resolve the current difficulties you're facing in Bunkrugu if the police are listening. We don't prize an animal while it is caged in a sack, so we cannot celebrate the power badges while they are not yet in use. And that's from Mugabe, who is giving us this very message from Nkwanta. He said, Roland and Mamavi, God bless you for the good works you're doing for Joy News and the people of Ghana. May God help you for a lot more upliftment. We thank you very much. And that's from Dixon. And this one before we get on to a lot more of the stories we have. As the sky stands without a pillar, the oceans move without an engine, the rain falls without a pump, so shall the source of your blessings be a mystery to you, your family and the world at large, as you hold on firmly to your work. And that's from Adam Denjuma Mubarak, who is giving us this message from Boku in the Upper East region. Thanks for giving us those messages. As always, the platform on WhatsApp is 0560 800,000. Now let's get to business. Let's look at what the stories are on the news portal My Joy Online. We have on the front page of the Daily Guide, we will crash spies in MPP, Nana declares, and says the 2016 presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has urged members of the party not to be disheartened by reports that the party will go into the 2016 elections with a divided front. Power badge won't end Doomso. Contrary to claims by propagandists of the National Democratic Congress, the Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has emphasized that the arrival of the badge would not end the Doomso erratic power supply. Afoko Boy suspended. Spokesperson for suspended New Patriotic Party National Chairman Paul Afoko has been suspended indefinitely by the party in the Ashanti region for allegedly sponsoring some people to demonstrate against the MPP's decision to suspend his boss. The front page of the Finder has a story. Doomso, the untold story, and it says the Volta River Authority needs at least $30 million a month to buy light crude oil to fuel thermal plant in Tema and Takrady to generate some 520 megawatts of power to ameliorate the worsening power crisis in the country. 10 dismissed staff sue ADB. 10 staff of the Agricultural Development Bank have filed a suit at the Accra High Court challenging their dismissal from the bank. And we know that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, that very announcement was made by the bank that some senior managers had been relieved of their positions and they've been asked to go home. And so that's the current state in which the bank found itself. They've been sued by those 10 personalities. And we also have Give Assembly members instruments of office. And the Dean of Studies and Research at the Institute of Local Government Study, Dr. Eric Oduro-Osai, has called for instrument of office for elected assembly members as a means of promoting good governance at the local level. On the front page of the General Telegraph, we have 10 students suspended for watching pornographic movies, and apparently the Namong Senior High Technical School in the Ofinso municipality in the Ashanti region has suspended 10 female students who were caught secretly watching pornographic movies on their phones in the school dormitory. We also have MPP's claims of involvement in party office raid is wicked and malicious. That's Omani Boama, and those are the stories we have for all the the stories we have on the front and back pages of the newspapers. And as far as we're concerned, we'll try as much as possible to make sure that we look onto some other stories we have on the front and back pages of the various newspapers. And also there are other news portals we have around. We'll try and give you a lot more stories. And please, the service personnel, you are saying the service personnel of Bunkrugu are appealing to be reposted because lives are in danger because of exchange of gunfire that is currently being experienced in Bunkrugu. And you said that this happened overnight. You didn't give us your name. We hope that the police, again, this is the second time we're reading this message of this sort from two different people. And Big Mouth, you said, where's Mamavi? She's a bit indisposed today, and so I'm here with you alone. Please try and keep up with me. Don't worry. Good morning, Roland. It's good to hear that the long-awaited power badge has finally arrived. Thanks be to God. I wish my sister Mama V a speedy recovery. And thank you very much also. You didn't bring your name, though. Your picture shows that you're a police officer. And, of course, government has been giving empty promises. But for this, we give thanks for the good work done and appreciating what is in our hands. And that's a... well, so this one is from Abdul Malik Shaban. Just give us where you're texting from so that we'll know where at least you're texting us from. This one, let me read this one. Just give me a minute. Okay. I think the highway robbers must be killed for them to stop disturbing. And that's from Ima from Soviet. Okay. Now let's look at what the story is. A newborn found buried alive alongside walking path, and the story says the crying coming from under a block of asphalt sounded like it was from a cat to Angelica Blount, but it turned out to be an abandoned lady. And this is a story emanating from Ghana. We have other stories as well. How to prepare for a U.S. visa interview, and there's an opinion there. Berrima Sydney, I will stage one-man demo against Prime Minister. General Mosquito Ito must allow Mahama time to choose running mates. I have not granted any interview on election 2016, Francis Poku. We know that there's been a story on DW, or linked to DW radio, that has been published over the last week, linking the former National Security Advisor to perhaps purportedly saying that with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the NPP may not be in a position to win the 2016 general elections. But he's come out to categorically deny that very story. We also have Mahama's birthday. John Dumelo prays for him. Yvonne Nelson calls for end to Dumso. And we know that there's this social media story going round about how Yvonne Nelson may have tweeted an account on Twitter of John Dramani Mahama, the president. Now, apparently, if you check very well, for those of you who are usually on Twitter, that's not the official account of the president. Mahama's birthday, and we've read that already. David Cameron urges hastening anti-corruption efforts by developing countries. And we have last one, strikerless Chelsea draw blank at Tottenham as Diego Costa stays on bench. It was a drab draw, though. I was listening to them. I couldn't have the guts to watch. Police military on high alert in Bunkrugu after renewed clashes. And let's read this very story. It talks about renewed clashes in Bunkrugu. And we know that we've been getting all these messages from our viewers this morning about overnight shooting in Bunkrugu. And many of them really worried, especially service personnel already calling for reposting. Don't worry, the security personnel will be there to help improve the situation. And if we have to read the story, you see there's a picture coming from the neighborhood. It's a police and military reinforcement has been dispatched to Bunkrugu in the northern region Monday following renewed clashes over the last 2 days. At least one person was severely injured in the violence that is steeped in ethnic and chieftaincy disagreements. Joy News Northern Regional Correspondent Hashmi Mohammed said Bunkrugu has been under heavy security since the violence that lasted more than 40 hours. A resident told Joy News he had heavy gunshot during the clashes. He said although police came to quell the violence, it still proved daunting. The police themselves were tired. You could hear police siren, but after a while, you would not hear the police sirens again. You would only be hearing the sound of the gunshots. In April this year, 2 people were apparently killed and several properties were also destroyed after similar clashes. However, peace returned to the area after a 15-hour curfew was imposed over a long period in the northern region town. Interior Minister Mark Wayango also met with the feuding parties in a bid to broker peace. So far, nothing has been reported. We're hoping that the situation will improve in Bunkrugu. And very soon we'll try and link to the Northern Regional Police Command and try to speak to them how they're improving their current security situation in Bunkrugu, and then we'll try to give you a lot more update. Let's go to the news portal, City FM Online. It talks about a power badge to be connected to National Grid, and you hear the Kara Dennis, that's one of the company directors that accompanied the power badge, also speaking over the weekend during the pre-inaugural ceremony that was undertaken, or that was launched or convened at the Tema Harbour. MPP must win to save Ghana's Okay, so we'll try and bring you a lot more as far as this was concerned, and so we'll have to reset this. Technology sometimes always a worry to many industries. But let's look at this. Good morning. If the arrival of the power badges would not solve the current crisis, then why are we so happy about it? And that's from Oshaps Yendi. And this one also talks about good morning, my brother. We're not willing to help ourselves. That's why we always complain. Electricity bills are paid every day. Where do they fly to? And that's from Caleb, who seems to be asking this very question from Wale Wale in the northern region. It talks about the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, asking his party members to work towards ensuring that the party wins the 2016 elections to save Ghana from what he describes as a disastrous Mahama NDC administration. According to him, winning the election would be in the best interest of the nation. Mahama said this when he was addressing supporters of the MPP at a fundraising dinner dance held in his honor in London over the weekend. Okay, so that's the story on Nana Addo and his visit to the UK. And he's expected to be back soon, and I'm sure he will be addressing the press in many of his interactions. We'll look at the BBC. We go to the Africa page, or the world page. Pope preaches hardest day of Africa trip, and we also have high chance of chamber in Tut's tomb, and we know that Tut is one of the old kings, the pharaoh of Egypt during those ancient times. Vote count underway in Burkina Faso, and counting is underway in Burkina Faso, where voters have been electing a new president and parliament after a year of political turmoil. A deadly rocket attack hits UN Mali base, and police die in Egypt drive-by shooting. Okay, we know that there's been at least some 2 days of disagreement and shooting being experienced in Bunkrugu in the northern region, and as a result of that, we've had a dispatch of military and police teams to make sure they quell the violence. But still, there have been reports by residents and also our correspondent Hashmi Mohammed saying that the situation seemed not to have been ameliorated. But we want to get first-hand information, and so we have on the line the PRO for the Northern Region Police Command, and ASP Ebenezer Tete is on the line. A very good morning to you, Mr. Tete. Now, particularly, how many days have we been experiencing this, the seeming violence in Bunkrugu?
This started yesterday in the evening at about 7 p.m. when the planned outage, I mean the load shedding, I think around 7 p.m. the light in Bunkrugu area went out. Like it was a planned outage, and following that, some gunshots were heard at some locations. What triggered this latest shooting incident that we have in Bunkrugu is the death of some 2 young men. Initially, a report was made at the Bunkrugu police station about the missing person. So the police started investigations. On Saturday, the bodies were retrieved in the bush. Physical examination of the body did not show gunshot wounds. Neither did the police see any cutlass wounds on the body. But what was clear was that they were lifeless. So police started their investigation, and later the bodies were brought to Tamale for preservation. It was until yesterday when around 7 p.m. the police heard gunshots from some areas in the community. Some people had to flee for their lives, and they ran to the police station to come and rescue the protection of the police station. The police and military quickly moving. At about 10 p.m., the lights were restored to the area, and the police were able to calm the situation down. Later, the gunshots were heard again. But as we speak, it has completely died down. And the last time I spoke to my officer on the ground, the information is that they are going around to assess the damage of the corpse. And so far, some 9 houses have been touched and still counting. With respect to injuries, they have only one who sustained a gunshot wound in the armpit. They've been rushed to the Baptist Medical Center at Lugu and is responding to treatment there. That is what I can say for now. We are deploying reinforcement in the area to ensure that the situation does not escalate further.
Before this very disagreement or disturbances, there had been some level of truce or peace being experienced, and we know that that had been preceded by some curfew. Is it that you didn't pick up the intelligence on this?
The deaths of these 2 persons, because of the circumstances leading to their death, we never, thought people would take advantage of this thing and do what they are doing, because this was people were reported missing. If the information had come in that they were murdered or killed by a specific person, yes, the police could quickly move in and get those persons arrested. But here is the case: the assailants or those who murdered these persons are not known, and some information were picked. We did our best early in the day, that was yesterday, to control the situation and calm the town completely. Yes, we were not everywhere. That was why some people took advantage of the situation and started firing indiscriminately at about 7 p.m. As I said, when the planned outage got to the area. So it is rather unfortunate that people are taking advantage of this situation to capitalize on it and bring back the tension and the insecurity that was in the area that resulted in some curfew being imposed. I remind you, the curfew has been on the area for some time. It has been revised several times. And as it is happening now, we will leave the rest with the Regional Security Council and then the District Security Council to decide whether the curfew that was imposed on the area, and my information is that it was reviewed for some time, and even subsequently curfew was removed in the area. So as to whether a curfew will be imposed on the area or not, that will be a decision of the Dice Snake and then the rest.
Okay, thank you very much. ASP Ebenezer Tete is the PRO for the Northern Region Police Command. And many of you, again, have been giving us a lot more messages on this. For example, it says, Roland, the police in the Northern region are not able to arrest anybody because if they try, they will be beaten. That's what you're alleging. That's from DJ, who is giving us this very message from Chreponi. And we'll have to say we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you a lot more. But sports is up next, and Benedict also is around the studio to bring us a lot more details. Do stay on.